Hello and welcome back to the Xbox Hut. Before you get on my nuts about buying DLC, I never bought or supported DLC up until Nintendo did it right with Mario Kart 8 and Pikmin 3. I still don't really like the idea of DLC, but I'll discuss my stance on that some other day. Having said that, this is my first attempt at reviewing DLC, so let me know what you think. Also, DLC reviews will naturally be shorter than regular episodes, given that there's a lot less content that's being looked over. So let's do this, because 2 or 3 people asked me to over Facebook and Twitter. The Dark Below DLC pack contains new story missions, a new strike, and a new raid. It also comes with some new stuff like weapons, armor, and a sparrow that does stunts. The story missions can be completed pretty easily in a team, but might present a bit of a challenge for a solo player unless they're equipped well above the story's level recommendation. Unfortunately, the story thread is on the level of a side quest, and I can't help but feel this was, quite literally, taken out of the main game where it was a side quest. While it gives you access to new areas, they don't quite step away from the main game in any meaningful way, and you'll just feel like you're, once again, going back. Completing the story missions gets you a fusion rifle that admittedly feels and sounds cool though. The new strike takes place on Earth, and while you end up accessing new areas, it once again feels like part of the game that was always there. Furthermore, while I haven't had a chance to try out the best part of the DLC, the new raid, I can confidently say it won't single-handedly change the feeling that I just paid for what was clearly a core content side mission in the original game. That, and no one would have me because I was level 29. Oh, and on the topic of side missions, this DLC has its own side quest line as well that clearly has you retreading old areas and collecting. And then there's some new multiplayer maps, and while it's nice to get some new maps to fight on, they're nothing to write home about. With this DLC pack comes some alteration to the core game. The level cap is raised to level 32, and this is done by offering to everyone, not just DLC owners, a new tier of legendary and exotic equipment with more light on it. It's indicated by that little Roman numeral 1, at least that's what I think it is, in the corner of the equipment. It's nice that the DLC does benefit all users by offering new armor, and this keeps non-DLC players not feeling entirely left out. DLC is always a touchy area because sometimes it's done right, namely by Nintendo, and other times it's done wrong. This is a case of it being done wrong because anyone with half a brain will not be able to shake the feeling that this DLC has always been there. Sometimes people wrongfully assume that DLC is simply a part of the game taken out to cash in on gamers' wallets, but in this case, they are right. I give The Dark Below a 5.5 out of 10.
Zone C neutralized. Zone A lost. Zone C captured.
Since I bought the season pass, I technically paid $17.50 for this DLC pack. But even for those of you with the Guardian Edition, this DLC isn't even worth the $15 that you already paid for it. I get the feeling that reviewing DLC is going to be more often than not an unhappy place for me to be. But it's all for you! And you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you. Like my Facebook page, follow me on Twitter, and of course subscribe for more. I'll see you next time on the Xbox Hut.